Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Dirty Martini. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're having an amazing day. Guys, today's episode, as like the one I said like last week, needs to be a little bit quicker because I have plans, because I need to go to another city, because I'm going to a birthday party, and that friend's birthday party is my favorite time of the year. I always have so much fun celebrating that guy because he's just such a sweetheart. So like I'm really really excited to go. But for me to get going, I need to wash my hair because the thing is, if you see me wearing a hat on the podcast, most of the times, like 9 out of 10 times, it is not a stylistic choice. It is because my hair looks so oily, like the US government is calling, because they're like, oh my God, oil. Um, so yeah, I need to really like get proper ready. And may I just add that did I say actually I hope you're doing well, I hope you're having an amazing day? I don't remember. Hey, guys, I've been so sleep deprived this week. Like when I tell you every single day this week, I'm not over exaggerating. I have slept 5 hours per day, starting from King's Night on until today, like a Saturday. So when I tell you it's catching up to me, it's catching up to me. But it's okay because like I'm sleep deprived because of having fun. If I'm Jesus Christ, what's going on? Um, if I need to be deprived of some reason for some reason, I would rather it be for having fun rather than anything else. Because also my friends are visiting, and like I've not seen them since we were almost nearly massacred in Vienna at the Euro store. So it's certain things have happened since then. Like it's been 2 years, so like we need to catch up. Even though we literally text every single day, and they know every single thing that's going on in my life. But like it's different, to just be in each other's presence and be like, you exist, and I can put a voice to the face, and I can touch you. You're 3D. You're not just your iMessage picture. That's crazy. Like, wow, I really missed being in your presence, and it's just so nice. And like, yeah, we've just been chilling in my room, like just sitting on the floor and just talking until the middle of the night, which has been extremely fun and extremely nice. And I guess I can just catch up on sleep when they leave, because when they leave, I will not be able to hang out with them anymore. And I would rather like squeeze out every single opportunity for socializing with them than sleep, because like my, this is not a healthy thing to do. You need sleep, okay? You need sleep. I need sleep. All of us need sleep. It's necessary for survival. But it's just like I was raised with the mentality of you have no memories from sleeping. Which, don't get me wrong, I love sleeping. If I could sleep, I would sleep. But like when it comes to socializing and stuff, and I'm always like, oh, should I go? Should I not go? And my mom is just like, girl, if you go to bed, you're not going to have any memories. Go out, have fun, you'll sleep tomorrow. Like, especially ever since I moved here and I'm back, when I go back home and my time there is limited, and my opportunities to spend time with friends and family and just like live my life there are way more time compressed. My mom is just always like, what are you doing here? Go out. Like, that's what you came back for. Like, I know you're exhausted. I know you want to rest from your life there, but like, go out and like have fun with your friends, which like doesn't take a lot of convincing. But like, sometimes, I'm like, oh, but I've not really slept because like with my friends back home, like we literally hang out until 6 a.m. And then I sleep for 3 hours. I need to go to work, and the evening after, the whole cycle repeats itself. So that's not really healthy, but I'm having so much fun. So I guess it's a balance thingy. And I'm just like, when they leave next week, I'm going to sleep. But this week is my friends' week, and I am so incredibly excited because I really love my friends and I love to love, and it's just, yeah, I like honestly. I love my friends. I love sharing life with them. And especially those friends, the ones I've not seen in 2 years, are the people I shared my life with here first. And they are the ones who have known me since day one here and know exactly what I've been through. I know exactly what they've been through. We've sat together in class. We experienced being brought together and what it means to be alone and grow up in a different country with a different culture and then move to something like a completely different context. So I feel very, I don't want to say trauma bonded with those people. I just feel very bonded with those people. And I really, really miss them when they left after we graduated from the bachelor. And I really had a tough time adjusting to life here without them because I not only knew life here with them. So it is just so nice now to spend time with them and make it feel like everything's going to be okay and everything's okay. And not that things are not okay. It's just like it's nice to connect with people who know you, right? Like it's like you don't have to explain why you make certain decisions, why you think a certain way because they just know you. And you don't need to justify every word. You don't need to worry about how they're going to perceive you because they've already perceived you. And it's like I don't want to say like you're predictable to them, but like they're not going to be weirded out by your uh thought processes and whatever. And it's just it's so nice to be known. It's so nice to be loved, and it's so nice to love, and it's so nice to know someone and for that to be reciprocated. And like I know I'm like spewing something that's so generic and so basic, but like I feel like in this world of in a sense hyperconnectivity through social media, but at the same time just like such busy lifestyles, we a lot of the times have forgotten what an actual connection means. And I don't get me wrong, I'm extremely thankful for social media because it has allowed me to sustain my relationship with those people without them being here. Like they're literally at the two polar opposites of the world, and I am able to sustain my relationship with them every single day thanks to social media. But yeah, why did I start going on this tangent? I don't know, man. Anyways, King's Day was this week, and I worked. I worked like every single King's Day. So for those of you who do not live in the Netherlands, for those of you who are not Dutch, for those of you who've never been to the Netherlands or are not familiar with the concept, King's Day is basically the 27th of April and it's commemorating the birthday of the king. Now, whether monarchies are necessary, whether monarchies are something that belongs in the 21st century, is not something I am willing to cover today because like we will be here until tomorrow. Um, but basically it commemorates the birthday of the king, and everybody just like wears orange and gets shit faced. And I had never properly celebrated King's Day because every single year since I came here, I have had to work on King's Day. And King's Day may be fun to celebrate. I wouldn't have known, but it's really not fun to work during, especially because every single job I've had here has been in the sector, which means hotel, restaurants, yeah, restaurants, cafes. So like this is the busiest day of the year for the Horeca field, and it's not just like it's not kind to employees, you know, because people were shit faced, people were rude. Like it's just extra busy. And I yesterday was just scrolling through my um, gallery and I just saw that I had taken a screenshot of my King's Day shift when I used to work at this restaurant. And I did 30,000 steps during that shift. And I feel like that puts into stuff into perspective because, like, also in that restaurant, I wasn't getting paid extra for working on King's Day. Initially, at my current job, before my current boss took over the company, I also was not getting paid extra. They were just like, no, you're mandated to work that day. And I don't give a shit that it's a national holiday. You have to work and you're getting paid your minimum wage, even though you're working three times as hard. But with my current boss, we get paid 150%. And initially I did not want to work because like this could be, I don't know, I don't have a plan yet, but this could very well be my last year in the Netherlands, or at least last year in the city I'm currently living in. And if I leave the Netherlands and I've never celebrated King's Day, I feel like that would be, I would feel like I'm missing out on something. And I feel like I would have like really partied during my first years, because like I was I mean, I wasn't drinking, but like now I barely drink. Like if I have a drink, like, and I mean like a cider every few months, that's like whoa. Um so yeah, I really wanted to celebrate, and that's why I was like, I don't necessarily want to work, but at the same time, money. So no, fuck, they're the neighbors are just now starting reconstruction again. I hope you cannot hear the drill microphone. I am begging you, do your job. For the amount of money I spend, you should be able to block out this noise. Jesus Christ, why now? Why now? Why now? It's Saturday, for God's sake. It is Saturday, and I know you're maybe working during the weekdays, but like, do we not deserve to rest? Jesus Christ, like, I fucking hate this. I really do fucking hate this. And I know that like in 2 hours I'll be leaving and I'll be gone the entire day. But like, what about tomorrow? Are they going to wake me up tomorrow with drilling sounds? I hate them. I hate my neighbors so incredibly much. Anyways, King's Day. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know that feels like very emotionally charged, and you're like, how can you say that you hate someone? Obviously, I don't hate them, but like, I hate what they're doing to me, and I hate that like they're taking away my rest time. Because like, I also have work during the week. I also have university during the week, and Saturdays normally I work. Today I'm not working, but like, so that's my only opportunity to rest throughout the week, and they're taking it away from me, and they've been taking it away for the last 2 years. And it's just like, when is all of this going to end? Like, Jesus Christ. What was I saying? King's Day. King's Day. So I basically went to work, and I was supposed to have a very short shift because I really wanted to celebrate afterwards with my housemate. But the thing is, King's Day doesn't just start on King's Day. King's Day starts on King's Night, which is the 26th. So like, people go out and get shit faced the day before King's Day, and on King's Day it's more the sobering up part, but while still getting drunk. But it's the more chill one. And basically I was just waiting for her to wake up. So like, because like she was not ready by the time my shift ended, I just ended up staying longer at work because I was like, might as well make some bang. And that was nice. And then like, basically, okay, so my first time experience is like celebrating King's Day. Basically, what happens apparently, because like, normally I just work throughout a whole day and I have no concept of a plan, like no concept of an idea what's going on during the celebration of King's Day. And basically, in the middle of the street, you have DJ booths in the city center, and people just go there and like like the whole day and just drink. And interestingly, stores like supermarkets are not selling alcohol on King's Day, which I find nice, because like in that sense, they can, in a way, prevent overconsumption of alcohol, but not really, because people just buy it in bulk in advance, which is also what I did. Because like, they started, like, they released this iced tea, like hard iced tea, and that is so good. Like that one, I mean, like, drink responsibly. I'm not saying drink, but if you're going to drink, drink responsibly. Never drink and drive. Do as I say, not as I do. Um, I literally, like I just mentioned, I hardly ever drink alcohol. But yeah, like that iced tea, because like I don't necessarily really like the taste of alcohol. So with that iced tea, I don't really taste the alcohol. So I can get a similar experience without the terrible taste. And I think that's a win. Um, but yeah, and after that we went to the park, and there were a lot of people who were just playing games and like doing barbecue. And after that I just met up with my other friend, and we just went for a drink, and that was it. King's Day, turns out, it's nothing hyper special. Like it's fun, don't get me wrong, but I guess like it's more fun for a specific type of person because I'm more of a homebody. I'm not necessarily like the too much going out, like let's get drunk type of person. I genuinely don't know if I've ever been properly drunk in my life. I don't think so because the concept of not having control over my body is just terrifying to me. Um, so yeah, I feel like because the thing is also like I'm Balkan, so we start drinking way before it's legal and we start clubbing way before we're supposed to. So by the time it's legal for me to drink and like club without like a supervisor, who by the way the supervisor don't I doesn't mean that I was carrying my mom to the club, you know? Like I would just like find a random person who was over 18 be at the entrance of the club and be like, "Hey, can you act as my supervisor at the entrance?" And they would have to write a declaration they're taking legal responsibility of me, which now that I think about it, if I were them I would never do because why are you 15 or 16 and at the club? What, like you should be home doing your homework, but I was doing my homework and clubbing. Hello, like best of both worlds. And yeah, and but just by the time I turned 18 I was no longer interested in partying and drinking, and because I also got my driver's license, so I was everywhere by car, and I never drink and drive, and neither should you. um and when I came here, like I already had gotten this out of my system, but people, like the people around me, that was their first times experiencing alcohol, first times experiencing clubbing, going out culture, because my parents were not restrictive parents. They were like, because they raised me to be a very responsible person, a very reliable person, and that's also what my friends' parents know. And like this knowing that their children are with me, they're like, you're good," and like so I am very responsible. And like I've never abused my parents' trust or them allowing me to go out. So I think that really benefited me when I came here because I had already gotten it out of my system. It was no longer something new and exciting for me. I no longer craved going out, you know? And I feel like maybe at the same time, like it would have been fun to go or my first years, but I don't think I would have enjoyed it because now, after years of hiatus, shout out One Direction, um, of not drinking, not partying, I've not gone clubbing in 2 years. Yeah. So like sometimes I just think, will I look back on those years and be like, oh, I really wasted my youth. I don't know why, like not drinking and not partying every week would be perceived as wasting your youth, but like this is just a stereotype that's perpetuated. So I really sometimes wonder if I'll look back on this and regret it, and like regret not going out as much, and like will I in my 30s have a crisis that like I've wasted my youth and like not been going out and then just like start clubbing, which if that's the case then that's the case, but like I just want 30-year-old me, if she's watching this, and she's like, oh, I should have gone clubbing and I should have done this, and like, what a missed opportunity. You literally do not want to do this. Like, I, as the person you're potentially pitying from the future, I just genuinely don't want to do this. Like, if someone suggests we go out clubbing, you say no because like you just genuinely don't want to go, like you more prefer sitting at home and like having a drink at home, or like just drinking water at home with your friends. So like um you're not missing out on stuff that you do not want to do. Okay, okay, I hope the 30s are kind to you. um Jesus Christ, 30s, like from next year I'll be like, to now at 24, well after now even past my birthday I'm closer to 30 than I am to 18, which is a crazy concept that we do not have the mental and emotional capacity to cover right now. But yeah, King's Day was fine. I feel like maybe a little bit overrated, but I just feel like maybe it's because I rate it differently because my perception of fun and going out is a little bit not the same as the people who have been telling me King's Day is the most fun thing ever. So it is what it is. Then, what else has been going on? Well, Jesus Christ, my dear beautiful people. You know how like when it rains it pours and like one bad thing has to be followed by another bad thing and like one financial drain has to be followed by another financial drain. So first of all, this morning I woke up to a message by my landlord that my rent is being increased by the maximum percentage that the government allows, which is very, very, very fun, especially considering that I don't work as much anymore, like for the past few weeks, because like there's no hours. So like, like you're a girl struggling a little bit. And now this increasing my rent when I literally found a mouse in the kitchen the other day, and you're like, just deal with it, is a little bit like I know it's justified because everything's like going up. I get it. But like also you told me if you stop using your heating, we will prevent increasing of rent. And I've not turned on my heating in 3 months. And do you know how cold that has been? And you still increase my rent? Like I could have at least like, I don't know, not experienced hypothermia every single day when I was going to bed in the evening. Cause like what yeah, so that was not really fun. And this is coming at a time, so you may guess, like, you see that there's no door, right? Because, like, now I'm filming on the floor against my wall. And the reason I'm against this wall is because this wall is now free because my clothing rack broke. So the thing is, I bought the cheapest clothing rack from IKEA and I had to readjust my entire room based on it because it turned out to be a bit larger than I anticipated it to be. So, yeah. And basically, that rack, once I put my clothes, literally within a few days, and don't get me wrong, I like IKEA stuff. I like that they can make furniture more affordable, but like I guess this affordability can come at a like at a price in a sense. So basically my clothing rack, like clothing racks are supposed to be like straight, and so I put my stuff and my clothing rack just did this. And I was like, oh, well, that's fun because it's also like leaning against my head as I'm in bed, like threatening to decapitate me. So, like, I would just like push it a little bit, push it a little bit, but like it would, so like the end result was it stayed, instead of this, it stayed like this. And I had my friends over the other day, and my friend was like, oh, aren't you not afraid that this is going to like hit you? What if this falls? What if this falls? I am convinced he jinxed me. Girl, if you're watching this, it is your fault, okay? Because like it did not have problems up until that day until you said, no, what if it just tips over? Um, and then the day after, I was like, oh my God, no, like, what if it tips over? What if it falls? So I called my dad and I was like, hey, dad, how do I fix this? And he basically told me to, because, like, my dad knows this stuff. Like, my dad actually studied to be like a welder. So he told me how to push it under what angle with what strength. And I managed to get it from this to this, like a very slight tilt. And I should have remained there. I should have been satisfied. But no, I had greed like the one they talk about in the Bible. So I was like, no, I don't want it to be like this. I want it to be straight. And this is not me not being an ally. It's just I did not want to be a decapitated, So I just wanted it to be straight. And I press extra hard because I'm like, oh, this is just the final push. And it broke. I literally broke my rack in pieces. Like now, the metal, well, like I don't want to say plank because plank is wood, but I just cannot remember. Like tube, let's say tube. The metal tube, instead of being like this, is now like this. So that is very fun, and comes at a perfect time when like I had to tap into my savings because like, and I never tap into my savings because like, guys, we're struggling, okay, we're struggling. Um, and basically now all of my clothes, literally, I am not over exaggerating, are on a pile in my, I'm literally looking at them in my room on my floor. And that is just like, it makes me feel disgusting because like I mentioned this before. I have grown up in a place with a wardrobe and a chest of drawers. So even if things were messy, they were behind doors. So the room itself looked clean. And the concept of a piece of clothing being outside of a drawer makes that look messy to me. And I just hate being in a messy environment. It like I'm never the person to like leave clothes on the bed or leave clothes on the floor. I just hate it. Like I get overstimulated. I want my room to be clean. That this is the space where I spend most of my time in. And like I just want it to be neat and organized instead of me like having to like figure out which way to step because of clothes. So now them being there on my floor is absolutely like it's challenging for me. It really is mentally challenging because I hate it. It looks disgusting. It's blocking half of my room, and there's literally nowhere for me to go, and nowhere for me to put them. And like now I basically need to fish out the piece of clothing I need from that pile. And like obviously the pieces of clothing that I need are always at the bottom of the pile. So I started researching like the other day. So not yesterday. No, actually it was yesterday technically. Um, so I came home at around like midnight, like 12:30 until 2:30 in the morning. I was researching wardrobes. Could I do anything about wardrobes? No, because like my room is set up in such a weird way because it's such a small room, and like there's barely any space for me, let alone for any furniture. Hence me guys sitting currently on the floor instead of like a desk, like at a desk, and like being like, oh my god, like an actual person. um and basically, um, yeah, that it's well a bit tricky to figure out how to furnish my room because it's so like it's such a fine balance and like such a fine line. Um, and basically, I was looking at this one because initially I thought about getting another rack of clothes for my clothes, but that like, what's a guarantee that if I buy a more expensive one, it's not going to tilt the same way? So I was like, I really would like a wardrobe, but like also, I don't want to spend too much money on a wardrobe because like, what if I'm moving out in a few months and like, what am I going to do with that? Like, sure, I'll sell it, but like, also just like, it's a hassle, you know? So I just went to the secondhand store and I ended up thrifting a wardrobe. And the wardrobe, guys, 12 euros 50 cents. Delivery is going to be 17.50. So in total, I get a wardrobe for 30 euros. How I am going to get that wardrobe up my Dutch staircase is a problem for me from a week from now because like they cannot deliver it before next week, the end of next week. So I will have to live with that pile of clothes over there for the next week, which is just like I I would do my best to be outside because like I just cannot look at it. Like it makes me feel like I'm in the middle of a dumpster and like I just really don't love it. But I'll get a wardrobe. And like if someone is watching this and they want to help me get my wardrobe up my hyper steep, hyper narrow spiral Dutch case staircase, text me. Text me. Cause like I mean that's why this country basically implemented hooks on the outside of their houses or apartment buildings or whatever so that they can get their furniture through the window. uh, but I don't have the money for that, like to call someone and like be. I also don't think my house has hooks, so that's going to be fun. I might have to, because they're going to get it assembled, like delivered assembled, so I might have to like take it apart and reassemble it in my room, but we'll figure it out. So yeah, that's going to be fun. And yesterday when I went there, uh, just I opened it and it was full of stickers, and I very closely expected each and every one sticker because I had to make sure the guy, like, I don't know why I assumed it's a guy, like the person, I mean, was not a fascist. And from what I gathered, they were not a fascist. So I wouldn't feel terrible having their furniture. Um, but yeah, um so that's really fun, but hopefully I actually get to have a proper wardrobe. I mean, like, I need to, because it is a little bit rough, so I'll have to, like, either paint it or put some furniture foil on it or whatever. um but yeah. And basically, what else has been going on with me? Oh, my it was my friend's birthday, like the one who visited me, and I made her a cheesecake. And I want to talk about this for a second. Um, I had to make a gluten-free cheesecake because my friend is gluten-free, and I feel, I mean, that is privilege that I did not know this up until now. And because I assume some of you may not know this, that's why I want to point it out. Um, First of all, this is actually not what I wanted to say, but like it's what I'm going to start with. Um, if you have a gluten allergy and you live in Europe, where our straws in restaurants or whatever are paper straws, ask them if they contain gluten, because the glue from which the straw is made can contain gluten, and it most certainly or most likely contains gluten. So if you're allergic to gluten, if you have celiac disease, ask for the, like, drink without a straw, get a metal straw, or just like make sure to not get your allergy treated or your intolerance triggered, not treated, triggered uh, by such a minuscule thing, because like you can be so careful with this, like with everything you eat and everything you consume, and then this happens. So be careful, be careful, always ask. So I want to talk about my experience buying gluten-free produce. Here's the thing. I am extremely privileged to not have any food allergies, or at least I am unaware of having any food allergies. So for me, it's I buy whatever I want to eat rather than what I'm allowed to eat. And that makes my shopping experience way more different than the shopping experience of a person who has an allergy. And this week, when I had to go and buy gluten free biscuits to be able to make the base for the cheesecake, that ended up being such an ordeal. Like, I went to multiple stores. There's like a lot of stores. The selections of a lot of stores when it comes to gluten free products is rather limited. And I find this so incredibly isolating and discriminatory. And don't get me wrong, I know that producing gluten free products in a world that puts gluten in everything is more expensive because you're going against the grain. No pun intended. I promise, no pun intended, but that actually ended up being good. Um, so you're going against the grain, like you like extra precaution and must be taken and stuff like this. So it is more expensive, which is reflected in the price, because I kid you not, like, also, why does chocolate contain gluten? Like, why does things that you would never consider to be glutinous contain gluten? Um, that's just crazy. Why are you putting it in everything? And like, wouldn't it be easier by default things to be things that don't need to be, like things that don't need to contain gluten to be gluten free? I feel like that would be easier because it will also be accommodating to way more people. Because now people with gluten allergies, gluten intolerance are just like come like just they're constrained to three products. And sure, like as more knowledge is found out about these intolerances, and as more information is exchanged by people and people speak up about their experiences, more products become available. But the products that are available to people with gluten allergy are triple the price and half the size. And that is outrageous. Because why do you need to pay so much more money because you're allergic to something? It's not like you chose to be allergic. And it's just crazy. And I think it's just so incredibly isolating. And I, again, what like a privileged position to be in, that I had never had to think about it before. But now having to um, consider my friend's like needs in her diet when I'm cooking for her, I'm just now really grasping this perspective of how limiting it is. And like those things are not to be taken lightly, and they're not to joke about. And I feel like we as a society can and should do better to accommodate such a large part of people who have lactose intolerance, nut allergies, gluten allergies. And like, obviously, I know that a lot of produce say may contain traces simply for legal purposes, because sometimes cross contamination happens without even meaning it to happen. Um, so I am aware that a lot of this is simply them trying to save their asses in the case of, oh, I really hope that was easy on your ears because I just like shoved the microphone, so I apologize. I know that they're just trying to save their asses in case of a lawsuit, but yeah, I don't know. So it would be really nice to like be more accommodating and like to not constrain like people with allergies to like two options. Because like food shouldn't have to be a privilege. And food is human right because it's necessary for human survival and sustaining our physical well-being. So the fact that so much is profited off of people's illnesses or disorders is just so crazy to me. And again, I know that like logistically, like we're talking also logistics, like it's more complicated to eradicate an existing like way of working, but like it's not impossible. Yeah, sure, it requires some sort of an investment, but like if you want to look at it from like a financial perspective, you're missing out on like a large portion of the market. So yeah, that's something that I really wish we just move forward with faster, even though it is more difficult. I know it's difficult, and like I know that there's like uh allergies and stuff that are still being researched. And yeah, just guys, please, 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 please be appreciative of your health. Don't take it for granted. Take care of yourselves and ask people to tell you about their experiences. And if you work at a restaurant and you're busy and like everything is hectic, and like someone comes in and they're like, actually, can you make this gluten free? And you need to clean everything and make gluten free. Because, like, for example, this is how we do it where I work. You need to clean all the surfaces, like, get different like appliances to make the end product gluten free. I know it's annoying. I know you as a worker are overwhelmed and like you cannot prevent cross contamination, that's for sure. But also, let's be a little bit more empathetic and be considerate of the fact that this person just wants to experience something human and their body just does not allow them to, is like way more restrictive in their human experiences in terms of getting food. So I feel like we should approach this with way more compassion rather than annoyance of, oh, but I'm busy, I cannot deal with this, like to make it gluten free or lactose free or like dairy free or whatever. So be careful, be accommodating, be more compassionate, be empathetic, and learn about other people's experiences, especially if you're someone like me who does not have any established allergies and you think like, and you're taking your situation for granted. No, your situation is a privilege. Your situation is a privilege. And when you count your blessings, you can realize how grateful you should be, and accommodating people's bodily requirements shouldn't be that hard, shouldn't be that an imposition. So I feel like this is a conversation worth having, and this is a field of food like production that should be way more accommodated. Because I, for example, was someone who's not allergic to gluten. I can have stuff that contains gluten and I can have stuff that does not contain gluten. And if the stuff that can go without gluten um, does not contain gluten, great, I can still have it and I can have it with my friend and we can have the same experience and we can bond around the experience of food, because eating together is such a crucial part of socializing. But if, like, for example, stuff that doesn't need to contain gluten contains gluten, that limits like people's experiences, and like it limits communities, it limits individuals. So yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Just be empathetic, be empathetic. And I know, like, in your day-to-day life you may not have thought about other people's allergies, especially if you don't have those allergies, and I know you may struggle to comprehend them, and I know you may like brush them off easily, but things are serious and things need to be taken seriously. um and that's that. But yeah, guys, I know that this week's episode is a little bit shorter, but I really need to get going. So, also, I just want to mention that now I had laid out my nice summery spring and laid out literally, yeah, because like I told you, my clothes are on the ground laying there. So I had laid out a nice, fun outfit for the birthday, and I got a thunderstorm warning. Where was that yesterday? Where was that the whole week that you were promising me 22-degree weather? Where's the sun? Because now I'm looking out and it looks like it's going to rain because, like, thunderstorm. So that's extremely fun. And if I just go and wash my hair and blow dry my hair, blow dry my hair, uh, just for it to be rained on, I'll be pissed. I will be pissed, but there's nothing I can do. Mother Nature, do your thing. But with that being said, I want to thank you all so much for listening to today's episode. I know it's a bit shorter, but I promise to come back next week with, like, you know what? I don't promise anything. I don't promise anything because I don't know how life is going to treat me. Because, like, thesis stuff like that, I'm trying to avoid tapping into today because, like, thesis has been like draining my desire to live. Um, but that's something I will talk about another time. In the meantime, go fill out my survey because tomorrow is the last day you can fill out my survey. So no, tomorrow when I record it. So today for you, today Sunday, March, what, March, May. Oh my God, we're in May. The year is gone. The year is gone. The year is gone. Jesus Christ, how is it already May? May 3rd is the last day you can fill out my survey. So please, please, please do that. I would be super appreciative. Um, and you would help me graduate. And like, I really would like to graduate. So thank you to all of you who filled out my survey. Send it to friends. Send it to family, send it to people you love, send it to people you hate, send it to people you care about, send it to people you don't care about. Help me out, guys, please. Help me out. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for listening. I hope you have an amazing day. I hope to see you in the next episode. But until then, stay hydrated, wear sunscreen, and don't support genocide. Bye.